Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Stamping A to Z. I'm Linda Gibbs. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Canada. I am here today to show you how to stretch your supplies even further. We're going to play with our dies and we're going to emboss with our dies instead of cutting with our dies, which they are meant to do. It does take a different sandwich in your die machine. Stampin' Up! So I have the old Stampin' Up! Embossing plates. If you don't have them, you can probably find them on Amazon or wherever through Sussex, or I'm not sure who sells them, but there are generic plates that will fit. If you can't find those, you can always use pieces of foam and just play with your sandwiches until you have the right combination to make it work. But it can be done even without the specific supplies. So I thought I would go ahead anyways. I don't know why Stampin' Up! Pulled it out of the catalog, because they had it for this new machine as well, and then they didn't anymore. So I'm not sure what happened there. Anyways, so hopefully you can find out a sandwich, or if you have the old ones, dig them out and use them because they're lots of fun. Before I get on to showing you how to do all of that, there's the weekly news of, okay, so Stampin' Up! Just put out, they just refreshed the clearance rack. Things are selling so fast. So our pre-order for demonstrators for the new catalog started yesterday. And so I started doing my order, and then I had to run. I had a super busy day yesterday, so I was out most of the day. When I came back in the afternoon, half of the stuff in my cart was gone from the clearance rack. There was some beautiful punches and whatever, and they're already all sold out. So check it out ASAP and see if there's anything that you want. And if there is something you want, get it now. Don't wait, or you will be disappointed. Yeah, so if you are tempted and want to see what is in this new catalog, you can always join my team, and then you will be, even when you're purchasing for your starter kit, you can put the new items into the starter kit and get that as your starter kit. So if you have to get your hands on the new stuff, then join my team and get your starter kit. All right, anything else? So there's just a new release for the kits. There's a beautiful water painted card kit that just got released. It's a non-stamp one. It's just to put it together, but it's beautiful. And I think that's all, other than the pre-order, which is exciting for us. All right, let's get you turned around and let's start playing. Okay. Try not to hit anything here. If you are joining and watching, please say hi. Let me know you're here. I do try and watch for comments. Love to hear from you. Know that I'm not alone. Talking to myself, you know. It's quiet today. It is getting towards Christmas, so people are busy, but you know, I started doing this at lunchtime during COVID because people were stuck at home, and I thought it would be entertaining during a lunch hour. So hopefully if you're on your lunch hour and you want some, just to get away from life for a little bit and do some nice crafting. I know for me, it's like the best thing and calming to craft. So if it's the same thing for you, then join me. All right, I'm trying to decide which card I want to show first. Okay, let's do this one. So, and this just happens to be one of the die sets that's in the last, oh, I didn't even mention the last chance items. I did mention it last week. So the mini catalog, the winter mini catalog, September to December, the last chance items. So the items that are retiring, a lot of them are on sale, up to 60% off. So there's some great deals there too if you've been waiting to pick something up. They are while supplies last, so there are some things that are already gone. But there's some great deals to be had. I showed you the sending cheer last week. That one is like 60% off. This one, I cannot remember how much off it is, but it's a decent amount. It is a single die. See? It's hard to get off because it's a single die. It sticks very well to the magnet. Okay, so it's the Tiny Christmas Trees die. You don't want to miss it. So this one is easily missed in the catalog because it is just kind of on its own. I should have marked it. I was silly enough not to. And of course, oh, it's not in the bundles. It's in the, so if you're ever looking for something, come to the back and then you can go to embossing folders, dies. So it's in the dies here, page 13. So it's found on page 13. If you go into my online store and go into last chance items, it'll bring up everything and then you can see what's on sale and what's available. That's the best way to do it because it's the most up to date. So here's the little die set. So you can have a whole lot of tree confetti if you cut out your trees. Today we're not even going to be cutting them out because we're going to be embossing with this die. How do you emboss, you say? Okay, I know I've done some videos before with embossing. This is kind of a new twist on the same thing we've done before. So I've got my big boss here. Now, when you're embossing, you only need your number one, your big plate. Tree-fetti, yes. If you do it with some glitter paper, then you've really got some tree-fetti. You're not going to use this number 2 plate. My goodness, my plate is like so dirty. It's okay. It's always under something. Then you want to have a cutting plate. And then, so most embossing pieces, so this is the old one. You can tell it has Sizzix on it. It's kind of softer. It's not, I mean, it's still hard, but it's, I don't know how to describe it. It's smoother, softer, whatever. And then there's usually a thicker silicone-ish sheet. And like, I need to wash these. I don't know how I picked up so much lint. Uh-oh. It looks like, hopefully it's just, okay. It's just my iPad that's freezing up again. So that's okay as long as it's not me that's frozen. So there's a very thin one, which you can see I've had accidents and cut through it. Obviously putting the sandwich wrong. And then there's the thicker one. You don't think you have those, hey? Yeah, I don't know. They brought them out. Well, they had them for the old machine and then they brought out, look at this. I really need to clean this. Sticky stuff. They brought it out with this new machine and then I think they were having troubles getting it in. So I don't know what happened, but they never actually were available. So yeah, if you have the dark blue one, you probably have all of them because they come as a pack usually. Either way, I believe I've used my silicone sheet as instead of this one, or even you can use like the craft foam if you can kind of get the right, you have to play with it and just get the right thickness. Usually when you're embossing, you're putting the plate face up. You're not going face down like you normally do, cutting into it. So we've got our plate up. Now, I forgot, before I even get that far, I'm going to, and see, I've already, look at this. Okay, I'm going to take this off for a second here, because we have a few things to do before we get started. First, I'm going to take my anti-static powder here, because we are going to be embossing, double embossing. We're going to be heat embossing and embossing with the die. So we've got our powdered up paper here, so we're going to try not to touch it too much. And then we're going to take Versamark, and just one sec, I'm just going to close out of Facebook here and see if I can bring it back up, if it'll, it was still giving me the, it was still giving me the comments, but it's just frozen, so I can't see what I'm showing you, which is harder to line things up. And now, of course, I can't find my video. Let's see. Come on, come on. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, this looks like it's live now. All right. Okay, so then you're going to take your Versamark onto your die, and you're going to be very gentle because these are quite small and it has lots of metal here. So you only want to get it on the trees. But I do have a trick. If you do get it and you're a little too heavy-handed, never fear. There is a way to fix that. So I'm just rubbing my Versamark gently, very gently. I'm not pushing down. I'm just trying to get it on the tree edges. So it's going to be a very fine line that you're getting, right? Because it's just the line of the trees. All right, so this is inked up. This is ready to go. I'm going to move it out of the way while I put my, and of course, Willow's here trying to help. Okay, so we've got this, and then we said we were going to put the die up, and then we've got our anti-static cardstock. So we're just going to plop that down. You could tape it down if you really needed to get you didn't want it to move. Then I'm going to plop down my blue, and then we just need the white cover here, and we'll put that down. Then we're just gonna roll it through, and there's very little pressure. It almost feels like you're gonna be like, am I doing anything? But when you take it out, you will see that you've actually done something. Okay, so we'll take this off. This is the reveal. Ready? 1. What do you mean Beck's in the hospital? I'm not aware of this. Okay, so here's the reveal. Here are the trees. Isn't that pretty? And they are not cut out. So now I'm going to try not to touch this too much because now I have to put some powder on. Isn't that, can you see that? Like, it is just embossed. Okay, and then I'm going to take, oops, wrong one. I'm going to take this white embossing powder. I did this slightly different on my sample that I'm going to show you. And I did that on purpose because I want to show you the 2 different options. So, oh, I forgot another step again. Oh well, I can do it after. Okay, you guys. My brains, my poor brains. I've been going to bed super early and just trying to catch up on sleep because I just can't seem to get over this jet lag. Okay, so you can see, whoopsie, I've got, I was a little heavy-handed with my Versamark, but like I said, that's okay. There's a way to fix it. So we've got our ink in the trees. I don't know if you can see that on the video. And if I can find my fixer. Okay, so my very technical fixer-upper piece of cardstock. I'm using the thick white just because it's more sturdy. And I'm just going to come in because my trees are indented. It's not going to wipe off the powder. So I just have to come in and scrape off the excess powder that I don't want. But you can see that my trees still all have the white powder inside, right? You see that? Okay, so now that I've made a mess on my main page, let me just set this aside, and I'm sorry, I have to clean this off because otherwise I'm gonna have, well, I guess it would just stick to, oh, sorry, Willow. I hate it when she sleeps right under my chair. I can't move, and it's a rolly chair, so if I roll the wrong way, I get her. Oh, sorry, Willow. Okay. All right, let's try this again. So we've got the powder off, we've got our trees. Now we need to just heat it up. So we will get that on the go, and we'll take our tweezers here to hold it down. And I like to come from the front, but I also, because it's embossed at the back, I feel like sometimes if you're having troubles knowing if it's set, you can come in and you can kind of hit the back. It's harder to see with the white. If you're using a metallic embossing powder, it's a little easier to see when it melts. But anyway. Okay, so then I'm going to come back to the front here. My heat tool wasn't very warm. So you can see how these ones are quite a bit darker than these ones. These are the ones where it's now starting to melt. So you can kind of tell the difference of where you're at. And if you, I mean, it won't get rubbed off at least the way it does when it's just sitting on the surface because it's indented. But over time, as the Versamark dries, your powder will fall off if you don't heat set it. So you do want to melt it. And get it all nice and heat set. So I'm going to be doing this in the totally wrong order. I was just so excited to do the dye embossing. I just jumped over everything else, but I will go back and do it after. And as usual, do as I say, not as I do. We're getting there. We're almost there. And then I'm just going to do one quick pass here on the back. Make sure it's all nice and melted. Isn't that cool? I love this. So now, like, just think, all the dyes that you have can be embossed as well. So now that just opens up a whole new process for you. Okay, so then I should cut this down, which I did not. So let's pull out our trimmer, and I need to replace this blade because you'll see, I think it's gonna be a little bit, once you start getting a jagged edge, oh, it's not too bad, a little bit fuzzy. When it starts getting fuzzy, you know you need to replace the blade. So I'm getting to that point where it's going to need some replacing, but it's okay right now. Okay, so we're at 5 1/4, and here we have it. We're a little bit smaller, so let's try and take it down a wee bit more. Okay, there we go. All right, we've got it cut down. Then we're going to take a blending brush, and we're going to take Coast Cabana. Find it here. Oh, look at that. My screen froze again. But hopefully the comments are still coming in. You wonder if this would work without the Versamark. Oh, you can totally emboss without the Versamark. The Versamark is only to put the powder on, if that's what you mean. You don't need the Versamark to do the embossing. So I'm just going to do Coastal Cabana on Coastal Cabana, and I'm just going to kind of come around the edges. Now, ideally, you would do this before. I'm just, like I said, got a little bit excited. Jumped the gun. I'm just going to, oops, make a little halo kind of effect here. Look, I'm getting powder in my ink because I did it onto my, oh, I have to figure a way how to get that off of there. Ay. Just making a colossal mess today. Okay. All right, so you can see we kind of have the shadow effect. I wonder how I can, maybe I'll try the spoon and see if I can scrape it off. So then the embossing powder obviously resists the color, so that's okay there. If you want to brighten up your color, you can hit it again with the heat tool, and then your powder will just kind of melt again and get a little brighter for you, because it's too hard. Like normally you would just wipe it with a baby wipe, but yeah, yeah, I don't know. I haven't tried putting the powder in without the Versamark, so that would be something to try for sure. Okay, and then, you know what? Because time is going to be, it's going to take a long time to get through everything, I'm going to skip all the rest of this. I just, I used my blender brushes, and I did kind of a ombre effect with Coastal Cabana to, oh, see, I did, oh, you guys, I did skip a whole step. You didn't see that yet. It's because I'm missing, here we go. Okay, so here's the other part of it. Then run it through on a piece of cardstock. Run your die through like you would normally, so not the embossing way. So here I've cut out the trees. I did it on a thick white again, just because that way I can reuse it. Then you can come in. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I like almost totally missed a step. And you want to line it up, and then I'm going to tape it down. Then I'm going to take my shaded spruce. As soon as I said shaded spruce, it's like, yeah, I missed something. Okay, and before I put powder into this, I'm going to take a new piece of paper, clean piece, hopefully. If I can find my base. I don't know where my little pad of paper is. I'll just take this because it's full of powder. I need a big brush that I can just brush all the powder off, because unless you use a brush, it really is hard to get it off. All right, just so I don't get more powder into everything. So now I've got my shaded spruce, and I'm using it as a template now. And I'm going to come in, and I'm going to darken all my trees. So then they're going to pop even more. Than they were with just the embossing. So you really can like step it up and create some new things by embossing with your dies. Because you can cut out your dies and use it as a coloring template, right? So if you've got like a die that does multiple, like different pieces or different parts of a flower, you can color it with different colors using your blending brushes, which is like my favorite way to color. Super fast, super easy, no brainer. Can't color out of the lines, you know. All right, okay, now Ta-da! There we go. So then if your white, so you can see my white powder has kind of disappeared behind my coloring. So then, like I said before, come back in, heat it up again, and your white embossing powder will come back and outline your trees. You can see how where I've just heated, it's a little bit more than where. So since you've already seen the finished card, yeah, so just so you know the difference, this one I did on white cardstock, and I I used my blending brush with Coastal Cabana and then did the shaded spruce, whereas this one is straight onto Coastal Cabana. Here I used silver in the trees. Here I've used the white. I really like it just gives you a smoother kind of coloring than with the blending brush. So I kind of like this one better, actually. What do you guys think? I like the more uniform color with just the shadow around it. And then the Merry Christmas is from the More Wishes, which is also in the mini catalog that's retiring. And this little taggy thing is the Nested Essential Dies. That's from the annual catalog. And then the trees are from the Forever Forest dies that are also in the mini catalog. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, hopefully he is feeling better, and I will give you a call after I am done with this live. Yeah, hopefully they're taking good care of him. All right, so that's card number 1. All right, number 2. What do you guys want? I'm going to save that one for last because it's like the most wow. So I wanted to show you next that you can also use this technique with your word dies. So this one is the Love for You dies. This, I don't know if it's, yeah, I think it's in the annual catalog. All right, take care, Yolanda. Have fun. I will come watch, hopefully, while you're still live. I don't know how long yours go for. Okay, so this one I chose. I was going to use what's it called? The Wanted to Say dies. These are some of my favorite ones, but they only have a background and one, which works, but I wanted to try with the 3 levels of words. So here we've got the outline, which is what I have cut out here. Then you've got the next level, which still doesn't have a super amount of detail. So this is the one I'm going to emboss. And then we've got the inner part of the For You with the more detailed writing. So we're going to do the same thing as before. And we're going to run this through and emboss it. But again, I'm going to use the embossing powder and Versamark. It gives it just that little bit of extra detail. And I don't know where my tape went. Oops, I'm trying to use the cover to add Versamark. That's not very. So this is a much smaller, I don't know if it's easier to ink up because you don't really have a lot of edging to make a mess on. So I'm just gonna get that all on there. Now I'm gonna put this, drop it down, and then I'm gonna tape it down just because it's so small and I have to flip it over. I don't want it to move on me. Okay. So once again, we will do our sandwich here. Move that, pull out my Big Boss along with We've got our one plate, our cutting plate. Then this one goes face up. Then we need our blue sheet. Where are you? Where did I put the blue sheet? Over here. Okay. Once again, making a mess of everything. And then our white plate. And then we're going to run it through. And you can see it's like, it really feels like I'm not doing anything to it. But then you end up getting that fun embossed look. And in this one, I'm going to use silver. If I can find my silver, here we go. Let's move this sheet before I get any powder on it. And then we are going to peel off the tape. The blue sheet is it's part of an embossing pack. It's like a really thin silicone sheet. It is from the old machine. They had them for this new machine and then they stopped. I don't know if they were having issues or what happened, but they stopped selling them. So they're not in the Stampin' Up! Catalog right now. I believe you could probably find them on Amazon or Craft Store or something. Or just try and make a sandwich that's light enough. So same thing here where I'm scraping off my excess powder. Okay. And then I found with this one where I've got kind of the line of the die, if you use your brush gently. I just got the I got my line. I don't want the inside. That's the problem with using the brush, is if you hit the line, it's going to go in the line and take out your powder. So that's pretty much as good as it gets. And then where's my tweezers? Oh my goodness. I've got way too many things. Oh, here we go. Right in front of my nose. All right, so we'll hold this and we'll move, oops. We'll move our powder so we don't heat the entire container of powder. And once again, I've got powder all over my clean sheet here. Try to get some of it off. Okay, and we'll heat this up. And like I said, this one's easier with the metallic to see when it's melted. I'm going to go from the back. And oh, there's a little black cat that just went by my window. Not used to seeing a cat around here. I think the dogs didn't see that. Okay, it's pretty shiny in most spots. Do it again from the back. Okay, we'll call it done for the purpose of this demonstration. Okay, so I'll bring back our scrap here. And then I've got so I cut out, if I can find it. Where's my template? Okay, so I cut out the secondary one, this one that we just ran through. I cut that here, and then I cut the more detailed one here because I wanted to have the two on here. So then I'm going to line it up. And I'm going to use Lost Lagoon for this one. That's my background. I'm gonna use this brush since this brush ended up full of powder. Again, I don't need more powder than in one. Okay, so you could tape it down from the back if you were worried about it moving. So here I'm using my, because this brush was used for Pretty Peacock, it's coming on dark, so hopefully it'll still, hopefully it won't be too dark. Eee! It's darker than I thought. Okay, it's okay. We'll see what happens. So that's a bit of a darker Lost Lagoon than it would normally be. And then we'll have our Pretty Peacock as our second go. And we'll try and line this one up. So the words for you are actually separate, and I taped them I placed them inside and I taped them so that they would be lined up and I didn't have to do two separate ones. So now we've got the Pretty Peacock, which is even darker. We'll come in with that. And then the reveal. Ta-da! Now, you can leave it like that, or you could come back here, line it up, and add some Versamark using a sponge dauber, and then put some clear powder on. I will show you, my sample has it like that. I'm going to leave this like this, and you can see, I don't know if you can see, the silver has kind of disappeared because of all the ink that I put down. So once again, if you hit it again with your heat tool and bring back that melt, it'll be a little bit brighter for you. But that is with the words, so you can do that as well. You can see you can do it with the 3, or you can do it with just the 2. And if there's a stamp and you want to stamp on it too, you can do that and just have it embossed. I'm going to skip the background on this just because, like I said, time-wise, it gets difficult because this next one is a really fun one. So here you can see I did the Versamark and I did clear powder, and then I just did the edge with Pool Party and just hit it around to give it a little bit more oomph. This is the crystal, snow crystal. It was in the mini catalog last year. It is currently in the annual catalog, so it is still available. It is a beautiful background snowflake. I stamped it with Pretty Peacock, and then I stamped it again with Versamark. And the shine I got again is using something old and retired. I'm sorry. I don't know why they don't have this anymore. It's the iridescent ice powder, embossing powder, and it gives you that. So it's kind of like a clear embossing powder, but it gives you that beautiful shine, and it's kind of textured, like it's gritty almost, but then it's stuck to your project, and it's really, really pretty. Okay, so that's card number 2. Next is a really fun one. Okay, hopefully I don't miss some steps here. All right, so here I'm using the Aspen Trees dies. Willow, what you doing? This again, this was in the mini catalog last year. It is currently in the annual catalog if you missed out. It has these beautiful aspen trees that you can cut out and make beautiful backgrounds. And then it has a branch. It has, Mom, you would like this one because I don't know if you have this one. It has a beautiful bird. Let me show you the stamp set that goes with it without losing all my pieces and parts here. So this is the stamp set that goes with it, perched in a tree, and it has this cute little bird you can color and some nice splotches. So it's a great fall, winter, anything really stamp set. So yeah, I haven't used the set enough, so I pulled it out and I was like, I knew right away this, when I decided on this technique, this was something I wanted to try. So next, let me find my pieces and parts here. Make sure I have, okay, I have a bunch of white pieces. I gotta figure out which is which. Here's my, make sure that we can fit it on here. Okay, we'll do that one on this one. So once again, we're going to do the same thing as before, where we ink it up. I'm not gonna, so you could do this on a piece of colored cardstock, the way I did the Christmas trees, instead of on, oops, that's not the piece I'm trying to pull out. So here I had done it on Coastal Cabana and then added more color on top. You could do the same thing here, except for I'm cutting out the majority of this, and then it'll just, and I wanted the white in the background. So this one I think is good on the white, but you could try it with colored cardstock as well. So once again, give your sheet, you would just want the best chance at powder not sticking where you don't want it. And then you're gonna ink this up with your Versamark. Very gently. So I'm just rubbing it. I probably should, I think I probably rub it harder than I need to because my ink pad needs to be re-inked. But I am just literally rubbing it on top. I am not pushing down. And then we're going to drop it down, tape it down. Pull out our big boss again. Okay, so we've got our number one, our cutting plate, and we put it upside down. Then our blue silicone mat, so you can, I don't know if you can see, it's super, super thin. It's like paper thin. And I've had oopses where I've cut it by accident. I think when I was learning how to do this. And then we'll put our white plate down. And then just roll it on through. Okay. Then we get the reveal. Isn't that cool? You can see the back side with the trees. And then let me grab my, so I'm going to be using gold embossing powder here. This one's into the tray, so hopefully I don't get as much on my, and once again, just swoosh it around, get it in all those creases. Okay, that's not bad. Only have a few pieces gone awry, and then I gotta find my scraper piece of paper. What did I do with it? I'm not sure where my scraper went. I'll just use this piece. There's this little, and it looks like I lost some. I scraped a little too hard here. I probably should put it flat, which will help me not scrape, but I didn't want to scrape it onto this paper, but okay. Good enough. All right, then try and brush that off, and I need my tweezers again here. I'm gonna heat this up. Oops, I just realized there's a bunch there. That's okay. It's all good. Sorry, this is a longer video, and I'm not even making the full cards. But it's so much fun. I hope you guys go and try this when you get a chance. I think, and I can't remember, I feel like in my last video I did the embossing using the craft foam. I can't remember now. Or maybe I was embossing into the craft foam instead of into paper without using those plates and stuff. So if you don't have the die embossing plates, then you can make up your own sandwich and still get the same results. You just need something soft enough and thin enough that it can get the, like, you maybe if you have a thicker foam piece that you're trying to use, then don't use the cutting plate as a shim. You know, you just kind of have to, you want very little pressure, and you want something that has give, that you don't end up cutting through the paper, is what you want for your sandwich. This is taking forever to melt. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I'm just not seeing it, but it doesn't look like it's melting. Oh, there we go. Finally starting. Maybe my grooves are so deep. It just takes that little bit of extra time. And if you're doing a bunch at once, then your heat tool is warm, then it's that much quicker. I probably should have done all of these, put the powder in, and then heated it up. But it doesn't look, I mean, you can see the tree outline right now, but that's nothing yet. Wait until we add the color and the birds. Okay, I'll just show you the coloring with the template, and then I'll just show you the finished card. I'm sure you guys have other things you have to do. Get on with your day. I don't even think this is melted. Well, See, the bottom part is shiny, the top not so much. So I'm not sure what this is saying. I'm kind of scared to color it, but we might lose the powder. That's okay. I'll just show it to you quickly. So then I've cut out, I've die cut it normally, and this is what you end up with. So the nice trees. So you can see how it makes a beautiful card that way. But as an embossed card, again, we're just going to line it up, and it's pretty easy. It kind of fits like a puzzle because of the raised edges. It likes to kind of stay put. You can tape it down if you want to stay even better. And then I've got, where is it? I thought I had, oh, maybe I put them away. Pecan pie and some early espresso. I'll just do the pecan pie so you can see kind of what comes of it. So here we're doing the negative. We're not doing the trees brown. We're doing the edges. So if you wanted, you could do like blue, like the sky instead of brown. But because this is kind of a winter theme, I like the brown and the white for snow. And then if you want to do a bit of a darker edge, you can take your early espresso, or you could take is it copper? If you want more of a orangey burnt ombre kind of. We're just going to give it a bit of a darker shadowed edge. Okay, and then, oh, wow. So when it's melted, you can only see the little bit of gold here. I don't know if you can see it in the video even. Here it's not really shining because I didn't melt it all. Hopefully I'll be able to get it melted because it looks like the powder's still in there. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but we've got that done so that you've got your beautiful trees that just pop. And then I just stamped the bird and the branch, cut it out with the dies, colored them with some blends. And then this is the piece I wanted to show you. I don't know if you can see it in the video. So I've used this stitched leaf die, and it just cuts the stitches. It doesn't cut anything out per se. So normally it would give you this flat stitched look, but I don't know if you can see the difference, how it's embossed. I did the exact same thing with this as I did with the other stuff to just emboss it, but I wanted it to cut and emboss like here. So I'm just going to show you quickly because this one uses the other, the thicker silicone sheet. So if you've got time, I'm just going to run it through and you can see the difference between the two. It is amazing. I love it, love it, love it. Okay, so we've got our plate, die cut, paper. No, I want a piece of paper that covers it all. Otherwise, I'm going to be cutting into my plates or my silicone. I think I might have used the wrong one. Oh well. Okay. Well, we'll see. I don't think it'll actually cut it. It should be fine. Okay, so instead of the blue here, we're going to use the gray mat. And the gray mat is if you want to cut and emboss. And I want those because the stitches are supposed to cut, right? And then we're going to run it through. Now this one is tighter. It's got a little more pressure, a lot more pressure. And you can hear it going, I don't know if you can hear that or not. And you can see the gray mat squishing out the end. That's okay. That's what happens with the sandwich, okay? Then you can see it didn't cut anything, which is good. And all you see is this is what it looks like when you cut it normally, except for all these pieces are much more pushed down. So where's my original? So I'm going to show you the original versus, and then this is quite stuck in here. So you might need to pry, you need something to kind of get under and pry it out. And then, can you see the difference? There's this versus this. So this one's totally flat and this one has that raised edge. Now the fun thing with this is in the new catalog, there is a new embossing folder that has a stitch design. It's not this design, but it's a beautiful stitch design and it's an embossing folder. So it gives you this look without all the work of the plates and doing it that way. So it's pretty cool. So keep your eyes out for the new embossing plate. I will be sure to get it and show it to you. So anyways, I just thought those were really fun ways to use your supplies that you might not have thought to use in these ways. And I don't know where my other card is. Oh, here it is. Okay, there we go. There's our 3 cards for the day. Hopefully you guys had fun watching. Hopefully it gave you some inspiration to start playing with your supplies. And you can do this with anything. It doesn't have to be the same thing. So have a great rest of your week. And aren't they beautiful trees? I love them. And we will hopefully see you next week. All right, take care. Bye.